There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
And welcome back, everybody, on this TGIF edition of CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. And on today's session, I welcome back the exclusive North American distributor for a brand known as Audiotec Fischer. Now, some of you may know it as Audiotec Fischer. Others of you may know it as other brands, such as Match, such as Brax, and the focus of today's episode, which will be Helix. So Helix has been making some waves, let me tell you. With the popularity and the fast rising popularity, in fact, of DSP integrated multi-channel amplifiers. This is a brand that has absolutely thrived in this category, and a lot of Canadian deals have jumped on board. And a lot of it, I have to say, must be because of the spearheading effort as well as the training support that MSC offers their customers. We've learned about this system that they've built in previous episodes. Today, we're going to deep dive into Helix, the entire offering, not just in the amplifier category, but also in speakers, both components, coaxials, as well as subwoofers, sources, and everything in between. So to do that, we're going to go to Alberta and our friends over at MSC headquarters, which I believe just recently got a facelift, which we're going to get some information on there and see who's standing by. Look here. We've got the man himself. What's going on, Mr. Penn?
Just living the dream here in Alberta. Plus 9 degrees and sunny today. We're taking it all.
We were friends up until you just said that. Because we had dusting of snow. Tomorrow I've got scheduled winter tire installs. That's where we're at. But nice to know. But you know what? I don't... Because there's other situations where we've been balmy and you've been digging out your car, hasn't it?
Absolute. We know that for sure. It's coming. We know it's coming.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to be truthful to you, Larry. I was very excited to see you, but I can't help but notice what's behind your head. What are these new because I've been virtually visiting your, retail location on many occasions. That is a new addition.
Yeah, we just finished off our showroom area and training center about 2 weeks ago when we had the crew from Certified up here for training. So they made their way from Vancouver to Calgary with their whole team. Wow, they closed the store down for a couple days and joined us out here, and we had a full 2 days of serious training. So it was those times where you got to have a deadline to get something done. So we got it done. And
sometimes we need that, though, don't we?
Yeah, you need that little push.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we taxed everybody. Our team here really pulled together to get this all done. So what you see behind me on the other side here, that is our new display system that we've created for our retailers. All tune ported enclosures, beautiful graphics on the front.
I see. Is that a mirror effect I see?
Yeah, it's a 1/4-inch acrylic that's printed on the back. So when you're looking at the product on the display, there's tons of depth there, and it creates another touch point for the client. We're really digging into their emotional side of life, because if you look at the image, that's all of that one that we're looking at as a vocalist. We got a guitarist, we got a drummer on the displays, and it just brings home what we're talking about, and that's our love for music and our love to make sure that our clients and our dealers who visit us here can get a real good taste for what the product's all about.
And that's amazing. You've always been at the forefront of that messaging. You know what I mean? And I see it in the culture, right? I mean, you always talk about culture. Yeah. I've started seeing, are those the same display boards? And we'll move on from here, but I've seen you working on these display boards in Arizona as well. Is this the new kind of platform moving forward for dealers?
Yeah, this is a different version of that. These were a test display that we built, and we're very happy with them. Obviously, whenever you do something that it seems to be really nice, you see all the the failures in it. So we'll go back to the drawing
Well, I
board
think
and
some
fix
of
up
us
a
are a
couple
little
of
bit
those.
more
So,
perfectionist than others, maybe, Larry. I'm just saying. You have to
yeah,
throw that out there.
maybe, but
Yeah.
as you said, it's part of the culture where we want to make sure everything is the best of the best, and so we're really happy with these. So yes, these will be part kind of a 2-tier display system that we got going
Awesome.
on. So in March at the MasterTech Expo.
Ooh, yes, sir.
We
Apparently,
will.
you're the tuning king, according to
Oh,
Dave.
well, thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. We will be at the MasterTech Expo, which is Mobile Solutions
In Arizona.
show in Arizona in Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
That's our satellite office there is in Mesa.
Awesome.
So we're going to have a good time with that, and I encourage everybody to come out to that event because Brian's got a lot of cool stuff planned. A lot of the vendors have some cool stuff planned, and it is going to be
What we care about today is when are we going to know what MSC has planned?
we're going to be launching a lot of stuff through Brian's Facebook and everything very shortly. This show to us is after 2 years of not being able to
Mm-hmm.
get with people and everything else. We're letting it all out. So we're going to make it worth your while to come. Put it that way.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So speaking of best of best, speaking about training, I mentioned Audiotec Fischer is the mothership brand.
Yes.
We've done sessions recently, in fact, about the match lineup of OEM integration type pieces, the BMW, Mercedes pieces. We've had a chance to talk about Brax, which is their ultra high end stuff. But really, I think it's arguable that we could say that the bread and butter, right, of the whole line, I think that I see the most, and correct me if I'm wrong, Larry, is the Helix brand. Like, I feel like that's the one that I see the most in installs coming out right now.
Yeah, the Helix brand, especially with the V and P series amplifier, has been a home run for us. It's one of our best-selling pieces. But what a lot of people don't know, we're very, very popular in DSP and in DSP amplification. But the Helix line stands on its own 2 feet as being a complete line from A to Z. I mean, we have source units, and I say source units in a different term because we have the ability to stream aptX HD Bluetooth into all of our products. We can take USB direct digital into all of our products. We have 4 lines of amplifiers, right from entry level all the way up to the C series, which you see behind me there.
Mm-hmm.
So we really can hit any price point. You can hang your hat on the whole line. You don't have to change your explanation of the brand that you're selling. You can go right down to the D series, which we'll show you some of the products later with Chris. But it's all encompassing. It really takes you from every different price point, from entry level speakers to top end speakers, from entry level amplifiers to top end amplifiers, to standalone DSP to amplification with DSP built into it. And it comes from the same factory, as you mentioned, that builds the Brax stuff. And you want to pull that image up that we had there for those maybe you didn't get to attend the last meeting. That's the Brax MX4 Pro amplifier and the Brax DSP, which is basically a reference in those 2 categories in the
top
market.
of the line stuff right there.
Yeah, and that's all hand built in Germany, and continuing that trend. Anything in the Helix line with DSP attached to it and our high-end amplification is built and tested and QC'd in Germany as well. Only our entry-level amplifier is built offshore.
That is a key point I wanted to kind of reassess, because like as a brand, right, we can see that they take pride in the craftsmanship, in the fact that it is QC, it is engineered, it is designed, it is built in Germany, especially the DSP stuff that you were talking about. And I think that presents a value proposition for a lot of customers today.
Yeah, and it gives us the confidence to get this product shipped and into your hands and not worry about whether the product's going to work or not. Our bottom line is teaching you how to get the most out of the software on the DSP side, and our warranty rate on electronics. To give you an idea, we don't have a service department. Everything that breaks, we do a advanced exchange for the dealer for the first year. So if you have a client, their amplifier breaks, we instruct you to change it out for them. You send us the broken one, we send you a new one back. We do that for the first year, and then we take any of the broken pieces and we ship them back to Germany, so they're fully reconditioned by the same people who built it originally. So we're not dealing with any haphazard kind of repairs. Everything is to spec,
From
QC'd the
factory.
same way a brand new one
From
would
factory.
be. Yeah, and then in
It's not
year
like a
two,
third-party service center. You're
correct,
talking right at factory.
right at the factory level.
Mhm.
And then on the second and third year, when we replace the amplifier, we take that fully reconditioned unit and we swap that out. So the client on a warranty situation, on an in warranty product, is not going to be waiting for anything. And then if it's an old legacy product, we're still sending that to Germany, and you would think, whoa, customer's going to get upset about that. But when we tell them, hey, that $3,000 amplifier that you bought 10 years ago, we're going to fix it, and it's going to get fixed by the same people who built it, and it's going to be gone 3 or 4 weeks, but when it comes back, it's going to be like it was brand new. And on the BRAC side, we're still, that's
I'm sure
a
people
lifetime.
appreciate that. Customers must appreciate that, for sure.
Yeah, so the BRAC stuff is lifetime warranty with that, and
Wow.
the Helix stuff on the electronics, we do a 3-year warranty when installed by a dealer.
That's a very like audiophile kind of approach to things.
Yes.
Some of the top brands and
absolutely.
audiophile range type stuff, that's the kind of service you would expect.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about the brand. We're talking about the warranty. We're talking about the QC, the development that made in Germany, the whole nine. So just to sum it up as a brand for dealers who might not have heard of this before and they may be getting introduced to it for the first time right now. Before we dive into it, because I know we got Chris, will walk us through, the product line. The general brand messaging. I am interested in Helix because.
Well, you're going to hear about the product from the product standpoint. It's everything that we do is done on a protected dealer base, and I think our guest at the end of the show here, Justin from Certified, will I'll let him speak on that. But we are very, very conscious of the dealers that we work with. We want to make sure they're trained. We want to make sure that the attainable margin is there. We're not available on the internet, and this is not a new brand. Audiotec Fischer in Germany is made that
I was
point.
hoping you would mention that, because like Audiotec Fischer has been slaying it on the European side for awards.
Yeah, 30 years, and we're just kind of celebrating today because in the last 10 years, we have won 12 ISO awards. And the ISO awards are the European magazines and editors get together and vote on the best product in a particular category. And we have killed it. 12 awards in 10 years is something very, very proud for us. And our engineering team and the guys assembling the product and everything back in Germany, kudos to them. Thank you for building a great product that we can go out and hang our hat on and take it to market, because it's just great to know that we have that kind of engineering. And even during the last 2 years through this problem that we're all trying to pull ourselves out of with inventory concerns, we've had a real good run on that. We haven't run out of product for any length of time. I mean, sure, we've had shortages, but our fill rate has been huge, and the dealers are really happy with that.
And how's inventory right now, might I ask?
Very good. Yeah, we're a couple of things we're waiting on, V12 and V8. We're changing those up to new versions, so those will be out in December. So those are really the only products that we're completely out of. But yeah, it's going good.
Awesome. That's good to hear, especially with the climate right now, right? So I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll roll on to some product if you want.
Let's talk about some product. So, I mean, different categories. So let's lay out the different categories. From what I understand, Larry, Helix is a full brand. You talked about source. We're going to get into that. You talked about amplification. We're talking about, obviously, DSP amplification. And we're talking about full range speakers as well as subwoofers. So where would you like to begin?
Well, let's start at the front of the signal chain, and let's start talking about the sources. So we all know today's new cars are getting very complicated on the source unit side, and quite frankly, very good. They're doing CarPlay, they're doing Android Auto.
Are they better than we'd like to admit as 12-volt guys?
Yes,
maybe a little bit.
Yeah. The factory sources are damn good, but there's still that desire to push the envelope further and further of what you're doing. So all of our Helix based processors and processed amplifiers have the ability to slide what we call a HEC card in. If you just excuse me for 1 second.
Yep. And you know, Larry, source units, we don't need to dive too deep into this, but that's obviously something that has been a challenge, you know, from an inventory perspective.
As a retailer on our retail side, I can certainly attest to that.
You're right.
So we've got this little card right here.
Okay.
So this inserts into any of the amplified processors, and this particular one gives us aptX HD Bluetooth streaming. So you order the card for the particular product, and you get the new end plate for the product. So it's got the antenna hole right here where the antenna mounts. And now that amplifier or processor is a dual source. You can run the factory stuff into the high-level inputs or into the low-level inputs or into the digital input if you're using a preamp from PAC or for our SDMI 25 or anything like that. It's got the digital input, and now the guy can take advantage if he's got a Stellan Kern or a Sony or any of the high-res media players that have the aptX HD Bluetooth streaming. This can now stream directly into our amplifier, bypassing all of the factory electronics. And we also make this in a USB version, so you can get direct digital audio USB output out of that device. This just gives you the convenience of having it hands-free as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the real cool thing is we're not interfering with the factory Bluetooth for hands-free phone calls or navigation.
I was just going to say, so I have two questions. Number one, that's super cool. That's like just adding a Wi-Fi card to a computer. Really,
yes.
That's what that looks like.
Yeah.
The second part is how does the functionality work from a user standpoint now to go switch between sources?
So in our software, we can set up how we switch from the factory source unit to this, and it does it automatically. So if you get in the car,
when it senses a signal.
Correct.
Okay.
So on the software, you can adjust the sensitivity of how that switches and the delay time of how that switches. And if you're listening to your high-res media player on a long drive because you want the best fidelity, and you get a phone call in on the factory system, the moment that amplifier senses that signal coming in from the factory phone call, it'll switch over, take the phone call. As soon as you get off the phone call, it'll switch over. Or you get a navigation prompt. Mm-hmm. And the navigation prompt, the switching is so fast, you don't even lose a syllable of that navigation prompt. So what we're allowing with this is to get real high fidelity audio, bypassing the factory audio system, but still
have the safety features.
Correct.
And safety, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very, very cool.
So that's, again, we've got that.
And you said USB and wireless option.
Yes. Yeah. aptX HD Bluetooth streaming, as well as USB.
And that's compatible with which amplifiers?
That is compatible with all of our outboard processors and all of the Helix amplifiers, with the exception of the M series amplifiers, which we'll show you in a bit.
Okay.
There's physically no room for the card to slide in.
Gotcha. So. And that plate, is that, you have to order that as a separate SKU when you order the Bluetooth adapter?
Yeah. So I'll just show you the front of the box here. So there's the Bluetooth HD. This particular one is DSP Mini Mark II. And the only reason for that, the electronics, this part is the same. It's just that end plate that is the difference, because we want to finish it off so the system looks like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah, cool. Very nice option.
Yeah. So when we go from the source unit, so again, let's if I can have somebody hand me the SDMI 25, we'll show you our most interface as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
This is the Helix SDMI 25. So any European car from 05 to today are using some version of the most. This is the most 25 system. So you remove the factory amplifier and you plug in right here, the most connector. And then you have the digital output over here that plugs into our processors or our amplified processors.
That's a Toslink?
That's a Toslink connector.
And is that variable?
Well, the source unit will be
the source
variable,
unit
right?
will be the variable. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's another source. So this, in conjunction with this, you now have dual source, factory and high res. So really makes a big difference. And then
you know what's cool, Larry? When I get other professional expert trainers also listening on you and saying that unit is the savior.
Love you, Jeff. I'll send you the check in the mail.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an amazing piece of gear, and it's funny Jeff just popped up with that because of working with partners like Amp with the Amp Pro pieces. Jeff's been a savior to us many a times. And
well, Jeff's always talking Toshlink.
Yeah.
It's one of the key features of a lot of the pack units as well. So I think it marries really well with the Helix lineup.
Well, it's certainly not getting any easier out there for our installation technicians, and we got to rely on companies like ourselves and Amp and the other couple guys that are involved with this, Nav TV, Mobridge.
Mm-hmm.
We got to rely on them to build us the interface. So we just bought a new 2021 Ford F-150 to continue on with our systems plans.
Mm-hmm.
And that truck has 18 speakers in it. And they're using a very interesting immersive audio experience where it's actually, I got to admit, it's pretty cool. I'm usually that 2-channel tweaky guy, but when I listen to that truck, tonally it's not the best, and it doesn't have enough power, and the low frequency isn't good. But the aural effects that they're giving you, it's got speakers in the headrest, left and right speakers in the headrest, but they remove, so you got left, right, and they remove the center channel information. So it just gives you the spatialness of doing that. And then 2 speakers above you in the ceiling where they do left and right, and they remove the center information out of those. So you're just getting whatever's left and whatever's right. And then same with the rears, and it's got center channel and 3-way in the front. So we were just testing that car out yesterday. And the cool thing is with all of our features in our DSP processors, we have upmixer algorithms with real center. And now with the way that works, we can take that real center information and put it out of phase and extract it from the other channels. So we are building a unleashed systems by MSC.
Unleashed 2.0.
Yeah, that we're going to release in March at this show to show you that how an immersive audio experience can be done with our products. So we're
what's your target channel count?
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
And you're changing all the drivers.
No, we're going to leave the factory headliner and the factory headrest.
What size are those? I'm sorry, I'm curious. This is so
they're 50 mil.
50 mil, eh? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So they got there's a lot of new stuff coming down the pipe, and to have our engineering team, our analog amplifier engineers, our digital engineering team, and our software guys working in the same room together, the things that this company is coming out with to allow us to work with these kind of vehicles, because today's new car is tomorrow's used car. And we need to think about that and make sure we can still get in there and make some stuff happen.
Very cool.
So when we get through to the sources, we go into our standalone DSP. So we've got our new DSP Mini. So this is our cam guy is here. Let's put the cam on.
There it is. Let's take a look at that. Talk us through this.
So there's DSP Mini Mark II, and you can see there proudly made in Germany. So if you tip it on its side there, we'll see the unit. This guy has 4-channel in, 6-channel out. And you want to go to the other side there? Yeah. No, the other side.
The other side.
There we go.
There you go.
The other side. We've got optical input as well.
So I noticed right away, Larry, is that this one actually has RCA inputs versus some of the Match product, which was only the line level input.
Correct. So this is our standalone DSP. This is when the client already has amplifiers, or he wants to build a little more serious system with some bigger amplifiers. That's our new DSP Mini Mark II, which is in stock and shipping now.
All right.
So that's available. So we have the DSP Mini Mark II, we have the new DSP 0.3, and then last but not least is the DSP Ultra. And we'll just highlight that on the Helix
Ultra.
cam.
It's in the name, man. Ultra. Ultramod.
That's right. So that's our big bad boy standalone DSP. And really, other than some subtle audio differences, the main difference is the amount of channels in and out. So this is 8-channel in with 12 channels of output. And that little control input, Davis, can you go back to that side? You'll see the control input. that plugs into our new conductor to control everything, volume,
Yes,
sub-level.
that slick little
And
knob.
we'll show you on this, because we've changed that now. I'll show you on the DSP 0.3. We've changed the control input now. So listening to everybody out there that hated that little DIN plug, me included, that has now been changed. You see the control input now is now mini Molex connector. So, and we include the adapter in the box. So if you're using a legacy product with the new DSP 0.3, you still have the adapter cable in the box to make that all happen.
Sweet.
So that's the standalone DSP, and I don't want to spend too much time on that.
But there's 3 units, basically.
3 units that take you from entry-level DSP. I shouldn't say entry-level.
Because it's the same processor, isn't it?
It's the same software, same processor, little difference in the audio section. And then you go into our V12 DSP. We'll just grab that and show you. This has been our workhorse in the amplified processor market. So 12
straight
channels.
To the big one. All right, let's go to the big one.
We're not going to mess around. So 12 channels, 12 by 75, and we're running entire systems off this, Ben, including 2 10-inch subwoofers, front speakers, rear speakers, center channel.
I encourage and you guys watching this live or on demand, look back into the archives off our website. The MSC guys did a whole episode just on different systems that you could build based on these multi-channel DSP integrated amplifiers.
Yeah. So the neat thing with these amplifiers is even though our power ratings are 12 by 75 watts, but that's all channels driven at the same time at full tilt. So if you're doing an active system, there's no way that you're going to have tweeters using 75 watts a channel or a 50 millimeter mid-range using 75 watts per channel. So the power supply, like the V12, is 1,000 watts, no matter how you slice it up. And that 1,000 watts is in those 12 channels. So if you're driving a 3-way active system and rear speakers, you could still have 4 channels left over, as we're doing in the systems by MSC F150 system. Use 4 of those channels into a 2-ohm voice coil on a subwoofer, and now you have 160 watts per coil. So you have 640 watts into the subwoofer section off one amplifier.
One footprint.
Yeah. So
one
it's
amplifier. Space savings. I'm just
super
I'm repeating these keywords that are so important right now. Let's keep it going.
So in that line, we also have the V8, which is the 8-channel version of that, and the P6, which is the 6-channel version of that.
The V8 has popped up on so many of the feature builds that we've been promoting on CMA this year. I have to I don't know your numbers, Larry, but I gotta presume this is a hot ticket. The V8, it's everywhere.
V8 is our best-selling amplifier.
I see. There you go.
Not that and the Up 7, and it's certainly not our least expensive. But after 4 years of continual education with everybody, they're starting to get it, and they're starting to work it through, and it's working extremely well. So that's real good.
And what is the power section of the 8? It's
75 by 8.
Yeah,
same power amplifier structure and design as the V12, just with 8 channels instead.
What's up, Jason?
Mr. Digos, our VP of sales in the U.S. market.
Very cool.
The day after Turkey Day, so he's probably laying on the couch.
I'm surprised. These guys must be just absolutely past. They probably just woke up on the couch from yesterday.
Jason's the epitome of the U.S. guy, so he's going to eat turkey and sit and watch football all day because he's a huge football fan too.
That's what they're doing. Absolutely. Yep.
So we'll take you right back to the entry-level stuff. If we go into the D series, I'll show you the D4 amplifier that we have here on the
this
cam.
Is entry-level Helix.
Yes. So we're in that $300 to $400 price point.
All right.
So, and this is in the 4-channel is a good old Class AB amplifier. And if we look at the control panel on the other side, you'll see that it's no entry level in terms of the adjustments there. So you've got full high pass, low pass, you have phase adjustment, you've got remote level for the sub-level control if you want to put that in there. It's got everything on it. And the accompanying D1 will show you that. The D1 is the monoblock that comes with that. And in that $300 to $400 price point comes with sub-level control.
Just
and
to be
everything
clear, you're talking
box.
Retail Canadian dollars?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So if we go to the control panel on that one, And again, this is our entry-level sub. So if you look at it, you got 0 to 180 phase shift, 0 to 12 dB bass boost, subsonic filter, low pass, and this is strappable. So you have a guy who buys the entry-level amplifier, you can now strap 2 of these amplifiers together on one load, using one amplifier for the positive waveform and one amplifier for the negative waveform on an entry-level amplifier.
You're the first one to use the word strappable on this show, just letting you know.
I'll leave that one alone.
Well, hold on. Okay, no, seriously now, a question for you. So,
Yes.
from the audiophile world, you always want to buy things separate pieces, its own power supplies, its own chassis. You know what I'm talking about? You want a transport and a DAC and a preamp and a separate monoblock for every I'm going to ask Larry, the question now. Let's say budget is not the concern, nor is space. Would you recommend me to go the all-integrated V8, V12 route? Or do I get this 4-channel, 2 of those monos, or maybe 2 of those 4 channels and a mono, and get a separate DSP like the ones you just showed me? What would you recommend?
So that the world of the automobile is completely different than the world of our listening room at home. So the V8 and V12 compared to 2 C4s and a C1 back there. Yeah, that's a better amplifier. There's no doubt.
Right, but now I'm comparing the same level of amplification quality components, but all I'm doing now is separating power supplies and chassis. So I'm asking, what would you do?
I'm all about keeping the system in the car so it fits and is reliable and everything else. So I love the V12. I've been driving our truck with the V12 now for a year and a half when we've been developing the system.
So you don't feel there's a performance loss or gain or anything of that nature?
Other than power, when you go into separate amplifiers like we got back there.
But that 4-channel is a 475, no?
Back here?
No, not the one behind you, the one you just presented.
The 4-channel, I have to look that up, 4x100, I think. But
okay.
But I'll show you a good balance between that. Okay. If we look at our M series, if you grab the M4, I'm not sure which one we have out, or what do we got? M4 DSP. Okay. So the M series is relatively new to Helix. And this is
that above or below or
that's parallel? Above the D series that I just showed you.
Okay.
So this little guy, and you can see from Davis's hands, it's not that big. This is 4x100, and this is available with or without DSP built in. So this is the first hybrid amplifier, we will call this, where the main amplifier section has been built offshore. The DSP preamp section is built in Germany, shipped offshore, is inserted in the amplifier, and then comes back to Germany for 100% QC.
Gotcha.
So we've still maintained a very aggressive price point, and this is probably the nicest way to add big power with lots of dynamics without breaking the bank and having to have a full trunk load full of gear, because we've got 2 chassis sizes. That's the little guy, and then we'll show you the big chassis. And if you can just show both of them together so you can get an idea of the chassis size there. So there's the large chassis and the small chassis. So that M1X is an 1100 watt monoblock.
Ooh.
And that same chassis size we also make in a 6x100 6-channel. And then we make the M6 DSP, which is 10 channels of DSP with 6x100 built in. So theoretically, and even on the 4-channel, it's a 10-channel DSP built in. So you could do an M4 at 4x100, put on an M4, another M4, which is 4x100. So now you got 8x100, and then use 2 M1Xs on your subwoofers and strap those. So you've got 2,000 watts into your subsection.
And only one, and hold on, does only one of the 2 multi-channels need to be DSP integrated?
Correct, because it's got 10 channels of DSP built in. So the 6-channel has 4 preamp outputs, and the 4-channel has 6 preamp outs, and that's become a very popular piece for us. The M6 is brand new and will be launching next week. I believe we'll get them in a small
So
quantity.
from a price point perspective, is it more cost effective to go with a V8 or with an M6 plus? No, it'd be V8 would be more cost effective, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, V8's going to be a little less power, but again, it's chassis
But one
side.
chassis,
So
single
now we're giving you the opportunity to do what is right for your client's particular build. What is the client's goal? Is it waking the neighbors up at 2 a.m. in the morning? Then let's put some M in there because we got lots of power. Does he want to have everything stealth and hidden in factory positions? That's the V8, V12 part of our world. So
that comes down to the qualification of your customer when you're building them and all that stuff. Yeah. But the important thing is Helix offers both scenarios now.
Yes. And when we're doing training, we really work hard to make our dealers understand how to present this stuff. It's not that one's better than the other. One is different than the other. And when we get into the next series, if we look at our H400X, Davis, that one's up there, I think. The H400X has been around, I think it's 10 years now. We've still got the protective cover on the acrylic, but this is a baby C-series amplifier, and we just started bringing these in. So that's 75 by 4 in a traditional big AB class design. So super nice amplifier.
I have to ask, is that acrylic cover an option, or is that demo?
That comes with it.
Oh, that comes with it.
Yeah, that's the way it's shipped. And if you turn it on its side so that you can see the thickness of it, it's super thin. So you could stack a couple of these guys together and have 8 channels.
I don't know if
Class
I'd want to
AB
stack
power.
it. I'd want to show, that's me.
Well, and if you go back to the display, I'll just walk you over there. If you put me back on screen, Ben.
Yes, sir.
So
that's what that is right there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the C series.
Okay.
So that is the bigger brother to that. So you
gotcha.
Can see
there
the
you go. Now you can see the difference. So, how many series are we at?
So we've got D, we got D, we got M,
right?
We've got the H400X, which kind of stands on its own, and we got C, and then we've got the multi-channel DSP based amplifiers.
The V's.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. The hierarchy of product here at Helix. All right. Are we missing anything on the amplifier section?
No, I think on the electronics we're pretty much done on there.
I'm giving you 5 minutes to talk about speakers.
5 minutes to talk about speakers.
Yes, we've got a guest in the back that I got to bring on. He's
all right,
chopping at the bit, so I need to get through.
Well, I'm going to show you the highlights first. So Helix, our new stuff, the S series speakers have been absolutely amazing. So I want to show you one of their drivers and the tweeter and the crossover. So this is the new Helix S series speaker line.
Is this entry, middle, or high?
This is middle. Let's call it middle. Gotcha. If you want to bring the cam on, we'll go back to the tweeter. They've done an unbelievably stellar job on the tweeter.
Look at that
grill. Yeah, the grill and that mounting cup. The mounting cup is aluminum housing. It's not a chunk of plastic. And if you look on the very back of it, there's a screw. So that grill is held on by magnets. So you can pull that off and you remove that screw and you can take the tweeter out of the housing. So you can use that in the factory kind of location without the big fancy housing. Gotcha. And incidentally, those of you who have new Ford F-150s to do, a little technical tidbit, when you pull that tweeter out of the housing, it snaps directly into the Ford housing with no modification at all. Like absolutely perfect. So
that's it.
Yeah, just literally pull the A-pillar off, pull the old tweeter, pop it in. So it kind of gives you a little insight to what's going on. The crossover is very unique too, because it's a two-way crossover, but you can see the horizontal blue tabs in the middle of it. Those pull out and you can separate that crossover. So if you're doing an OEM upgrade and the tweeter wire and mid-range wire is already there, you can just put the crossovers in line. You don't have to home run any wiring at all. So it's super easy to
nice
do.
Little custom benty piece of plexi over that. So
yes.
That's a sweet looking little piece.
Yeah, it's a really great sounding kit. And then they also do a 3-inch mid-range that goes with that, the S3M. which is a beautiful little mid-range driver. These guys just build stuff that looks great in the matching grill to the tweeter.
I see
if you
the
flip
theme.
it over, it's neo-magnet on it. It's got the protective cover on the back, but you can pull that off. And so just beautiful stuff. And then we go into the P series. And the P series is the step up, and same deal, the 6-inch mid bass.
We had a P series.
We had a P series. So we'll just show you the woofer. That's it there. So that's a step up from the S.
It's got the design like textured cone and everything. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look, kind of like is that a rubberized kind of?
That's a rubber magnet cover. Yeah. And then they also do the 3-inch version of that, which is the P3M, and you'll see a lot of similarities with that to the S series. So that's the P3M. That's the grill design of the P series.
All right.
And then the driver that we're super excited about is in the K series subwoofer line, our new K10S, and we've got some seat time with this now. It is awesome for the price point that this driver is. Put it on its side there, Davis. So super shallow, dual 2-ohm voice coil. So it's perfectly mated to the output channels of the V and P series amplifiers. Works super good. Works in a small sealed or small vented enclosure.
I was just going to say, like a downward firing, low profile thing for SUV would be just perfect.
Yeah. Comes with the grill that you see there. Comes with a terminal cup that has 2 sets of terminals on it. We'll see if we can dig that out for you. Just the see if we can pull the terminal cup out.
This is
and
new.
This is brand new.
Brand new. Okay.
And you know what's complete with grill, and when you see this terminal cup, it's not inexpensive stuff. So that comes with the subwoofer. Yes.
Oh, so if you want to put it into like a prefab or a custom, this comes with it's branded too.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a nice piece. That's something you don't see very often, Larry, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And again, we're just trying to make people understand that we're thinking about what they need to make it. Yeah, that's with the grill off, so you can kind of get an idea what it looks like. And we have a bunch of surprises in March. Actually, Julian from Germany and Florian, who is our digital software guy, are both coming out from Germany to the March show, the MasterTech Expo. We have a lot of new products to introduce, a lot of new technologies, even on the speaker side. So we're pretty excited. Guy from Blam will be there as well.
Pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, and the guys from Stinger will be there. We got a lot of cool stuff coming.
That's going to be a jam and a half. All right. Looking at the clock, we've got a gentleman waiting in the back studio. I'm going to preface this because, you know, you've always been a preacher of your culture and also support that you have for your dealers. Recently, we've seen through the social media and all that. I'm going to pull out some images here. You know, you've built this beautiful showroom / classroom at your Canadian location, which we got a preview of that also in the US. We've seen you do some stuff there. And you invited some guests over. So tell us what went down. So
during the situation we've had the last couple of years, I'm not going to use all the traditional words. I'll just call it the situation. We were doing a lot of work, even with you guys, Ben, and you guys have done an awesome job. But the human touch was missing. And Pat Lee, the owner of Certified, understood the importance of that and of getting everybody together and bonding and the cultural experience and getting out of the store and going to a different deal. So Pat closed the store down for Saturday, and they all jumped in their trucks and made the trek out here, and we took care of them while they were here in Calgary. And we did a Saturday, Sunday training session, and there we are. That's our classroom that I'm kind of sitting in right now with their crew and going over everything from there's technicians and there's salespeople, and we wanted them to understand the importance of respect on both sides of that, and getting away from the fact that there's a front and a back shop. We wanted them to understand that they're building a brand, and that brand is certified. We're building a brand, and that's MSC, just like Rolex does, or BMW does, or Lamborghini does, or any of the other brands that have instant recognition. So part of that, the first day, was branding, understanding what the other people in other markets do. And then we got into product training, product specific training. And then Chris did an absolutely wonderful job on the tuning side. So we were doing live tuning demos in the store.
With vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, we had an Aventador, Lamborghini Aventador S that we just finished up.
I was expecting a Porsche at the minimum.
I'm sorry. But it was kind of cool. It was an opportune time. So we showed how that vehicle gets tuned, and we used our monitors, which you see there, to broadcast the screen off the software, and we just had a wonderful time. And then we wrapped up our Saturday night. We had dinner. Sunday we continued. We wrapped up with the group picture, and then we went out bowling. I guess you could call it bowling.
Code name bowling.
Crazy. Code name bowling.
Yeah.
And it was great to see their staff come together and have a great time. It was great bonding with them. And we have a couple more companies coming in January to do that exact same thing. And it's a huge investment on our part. It's a huge investment on the dealer's part. But I'll let Justin talk about that experience and what he thought of it. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We're going to continue. We have a mission, we have a belief, and we're just going to keep going.
Let's hear what your customers have to say, Larry, because it's one thing for you because you're a great salesperson. You know how to pitch it. But I want to hear it from the ground floor, from the shop floor, from the showroom floor. And so my next guest, Justin Wingfield, he's been with us before on previous episodes through the Industry Roundtable. I'm happy to have him here today representing Certified Autosound and Security in BC. What's going on, Justin?
Ben, thank you so much for having me. Larry, thanks for the kind words.
That shouldn't hold you back from being truthful on anything I ask you about Larry today, just to be clear.
I mean, I've got a list here. Let me tell you right now. I want to say, first of all, thanks to Pat, because he did ask me to cover at the last minute for him, and I would have loved to have had him out with us, of course, but we'll make do with me, I suppose.
No, I'm sure we're very happy to have you on, Justin. Thank you so much for making the time. First and foremost, for other dealers tuning in who may not know, maybe from the other side of the country, where are you from? What is the shop you represent? Where are you guys located? What are you guys known for?
Well, we're Certified Autosound. We're in Abbotsford, Maple Ridge, and Chilliwack, British Columbia. We're known for everything from building basically one-off street rods, such as the Killshot Camaro that Tyler Nault did, to just kind of your day-to-day stuff and some of the projects anywhere in between. I'd say as a whole, we're really well known for our OEM integration, which is done largely in part due to our partnership with Larry.
Nice. Very nice. And how many locations are we talking about?
We've got 3 in total.
3 total. Excellent.
Yeah. And none of them are currently underwater.
Okay, I was just going to ask.
That's a blessing.
I wish everything is okay with you guys, and hope everything's good there. And obviously that extension to the entire team across all stores, of course. Your involvement, what do you do for Certified Autosound, Justin?
I'm the store manager of the Abbotsford location. I came on board just under 3 years ago, and it's been a wild ride and a lot of fun.
All right. So we got that out of the way. We know who you are. We know who we're dealing with here. And let's be honest, you guys are one of the top shops. Okay, we feature a ton of your stuff. Tyler is a top fabricator. We're proud to have him. Call him Canadian, and the entire team. You guys have been putting out some stellar stuff. So having said that, I expect a certain level of performance from the builds that you do, as well as the brands that you associate your brand with, as Larry was mentioning. So let's get into it. How long have you been dealing with Helix as a brand partner, and MSC for that matter?
Dealing with Helix and MSC as a brand partner has been, I guess that's about 3.5 years now, 4 years, is it not, Larry?
Yep. Yeah, we just started with Pat, I think, in the stores just before Justin came aboard.
Okay, so and how long has Certified been in business? It's been more than 3 years, obviously.
Yes, Certified as a whole has been in business for about 4.5 years, and then prior to that, Pat's been in business with a different name for think this was the 10th year.
So, needless to say, what I'm getting at is you obviously have relationships with other brands outside of MSC and Helix that you sell, that you go to, and that you've had great, flourishing businesses with. Now, 3.5 years ago, you hook up with this brand, and what I'd like to know is, how has it been going? Have you seen the growth, and what are some of the key features, feedback that you have to offer for other dealers that might be listening in?
Well, I'm going to start this one with a personal story, honestly. Sure. I had been working for Pat for probably a month, I believe, when I first got to talk to Larry on the phone. And I was designing a system in a truck, and Pat, I believe, was out at a training or was at Knowledge Fest with Larry. And I'm trying to wrap my head around everything, and Larry jumps on the phone at about 11 o'clock at night and goes, "Hey, bud, I'm Larry. This is how we do things. This is what I'd suggest for your truck." And just like that, we go from trying to figure out this overly complicated system to here's a complete MSC package into the truck, installed, done, finished, end of story. The wonderful thing about it, yeah, it was seriously 11 o'clock at night. And there's been numerous instances where I've called Larry, forgetting about the hour time difference as well, and gone, "Hey, I'm working on XYZ. What do you suggest?" And Larry, Chris, anybody at MSC, if I call them, text them, email them, Facebook them, if they're awake, if they're alive, they get back to us immediately and they help us figure out that solution.
I'm going to have to agree with Justin on this one. Larry last night texted me at like 11:50 my time just to make sure we were ready for this show. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. And you said Chris. Funny enough, Chris is now available. What's going on?
Hey, Chris.
Turn on your microphone, Chris. You're on mute, buddy.
You're muted.
How's everybody doing?
Doing great. We just got Justin on here, and I'm going to continue with my onslaught of questioning and interrogation of this of this retailer we have here. So, great story. So you realize out of the gate there's some support going on there. Talk to me about feedback from your shop, from selling it, from customers, about the product itself.
I mean, there hasn't been a single client that we've done a Helix-based system in that's ever come back with a complaint other than they want 2 a.m. base and they can only afford 11 p.m. base. Honestly, the product is bulletproof. I can count on one hand in the number of installations and sales that we've done, products that have actually gone down. And when there has been an issue, the support that we get from Larry, from Chris, has been phenomenal. Chris has literally FaceTimed me while he's driving to help me figure out a problem on a DSP at one point. I know Larry has answered me from a plane before. Well, he has intermittent email or text message accessibility. And there's no other brand that I work with that gives us that level of support.
That's huge. Okay. I got to think. That's a big statement. I got to think about my next question. I don't know what to say. All right. I got one for you. Here's an important one. Help me understand when you're talking to a customer, when this Helix situation comes into play. Like, what type of customer, what type of scenario that you say, yeah, you know what? I got just what you're looking for. What are you listening for?
I mean, the honest truth, every customer. Unless they have a boat, or a side-by-side product, every customer that walks in the store is pitched Helix product and is a potential Helix partner first.
Really?
Yes. They have the most options when it comes to integration, whether it's wire-for-wire direct integration after an amplifier, whether it's the SMI 25, whether it's working with a couple of the other interfaces to give me fiber optic or analog audio in from a newer GM, a newer Ford, a newer Dodge vehicle. The options that we have with their product just kind of make it an absolute no-brainer. I can take a vehicle, put a processor in it, and have it making sound in maybe 5 minutes after everything's all connected. There's no lengthy setup process to start that, and then with some of the other tools that they have available, it's making really good sound within an hour.
Really? Okay, so we're talking you just lumped all types of customers into one that would be applicable in this situation, from the guy who wants his truck to pound, to the one that wants a low key system and doesn't want the wife to really notice there's even a system in the car, or to something that wants something luxurious and over the top. This brand checks off all those boxes for Certified.
100%.
Okay. If you had to choose one or two key features which are like clutching your sales pitch, what would they be that you've had success with talking to customers?
One or two key features for me would honestly be just how seamless the integration is. We've got our live display or our director's desk, and so when somebody's trying to understand a DSP processor, I will either stick them in front of the desk and make adjustments on the fly to show them, and that's the wonderful thing about the Helix is it really does make the changes on the fly, or I will stick them into my own truck, change one of my presets on the conductor, and go from a fully DSP EQ'd system to something with basic crossover so I don't damage a driver. The other thing that I really, really like is I have that confidence to sell the product because I know no matter what happens, these guys are going to take care of it, period, end of story.
And that translates to your confidence that you display towards your customer. Mm-hmm.
I put Helix in anything from here's a basic sub and amplifier using an M1 and a K-series woofer to here's a $28,000 system in a 2020 F350 that came to us with 700 kilometers on it. Mm. I think I was one of the first retailers to put in one of the M4 DSPs, if not
Certainly were
the first.
Yep.
So, Chris, how important is it to have a partner in Certified Autosound and Security represent your brand and be able to sell through them and support them?
Well, it's huge because the biggest thing that any brand needs to monitor and look at is partnering with people who have similar core values and similar ideas of the things they want to build and how they're going to go about accomplishing them. You guys were talking earlier about our recent training session with the certified crew. That is a huge testament to how important that entire team feels training is, knowing their products inside and out, being able to deliver the absolute best end result to the end use consumer. I mean, on our side, we can build the coolest products in the world, but if we've got a team that's putting them in that doesn't have the slightest clue how to use it and how to take advantage of those tools to put a smile on somebody's face and a few goosebumps on their arms, it doesn't matter what we do. So having that partnership and being completely symbiotic between the two of us so that we can work together, because at the end of the day, we've got a factory who's building cool stuff. We have a client who wants to use it. So we need to streamline that process and make sure the client is getting what they want and the factory is getting their products delivered as intended. And having a partnership with, I mean, we've got a huge range of dealers, but the Certified Autosound crew has been tight with us for a long time because we share those core values right down to the cellular level.
Okay. We don't have much time left, but Justin, you saw a couple, obviously you did the training, a couple cool new products that came into the fold in the catalog just very recently. Which one really has your interest peaked looking forward to 2022?
I mean, I'm really looking to the systems by MSC developments. I thought that what they showed us was really, really, really cool, to be honest.
They teased us with that, didn't they?
Oh, man. That was just the tip, I'm sure of it, but it's amazing. The K-series shallow woofer for me is super interesting, and now that M6 DSP. Those are kind of the two things that I'm super excited for moving forward, because their systems by MSC thing really opened my eyes. I've been very much that traditional, as you were mentioning earlier, Ben, the DSP, the amplifier for the speakers, the amplifier for the subwoofer. My truck is set up in that way, and it almost gives us 2 AM levels of volume. But not every client is like that, and not every client has a back wall of a truck to give up. So seeing and hearing the F-150 running entirely off of V12 was mind-blowing, to say the least.
I've heard that same story many times over. I've heard people fooled, not like, getting them in the car, not telling that this is all run off a single integrated chassis. People are like, what? So I haven't had the luxury of hearing that yet. I know I'm very confident I'll be hearing that soon, and I'm excited for that moment. So last but not least, I want you to finish this sentence, Justin. Hey, if you're a dealer and you're thinking about getting into more DSP type products or getting into some higher end products like this, I would recommend Helix because
it's the best out there, period. The support's phenomenal. The fact that we work so closely with them and they work so closely with the factory means in the real world, when there's a change and there's now a new speaker size that needs to be developed or something else that needs to happen, that change gets implemented. It happens in not real time, because of course that's not possible, but it happens faster than any other large brand. And honestly, these guys make you feel like family. You buy from them, you're part of that family. You've got the support. The dealer network is amazing. And the people you can reach out to that aren't even in your area who may have worked on that vehicle, even if it's not something that's the norm, you've got that network. I don't know how many times I've reached out to Chris or Larry about a vehicle that I've never seen, and they're like, yeah, this is what it is. This is how you do it. Or I believe it's this. Here, let me call someone and I'll find out and get back to you. You don't get that with any other brand, period. It's invaluable. And if you guys aren't doing Helix or DSP or Match or any of the other products that MSC supports, my simple question is, why aren't you? Get on the phone, call Larry, call Chris, make it happen.
Holy shit, this is going to get expensive, I think.
Oh, dude, that bill has been racking up like crazy in the background. All right.
I need some warranty on some speakers, so I'm just checking out.
Look it up. Justin, can't thank you enough for making the time, brother. We're going to let you get back to work. Keep on going. Please give our our thoughts to everybody in the area, of course. The rest of the country just watching is what's unfolding in your area. And also give a shout out to Pat for us, will you?
Of course. Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Take care, Justin.
Take care, Justin.
Bye-bye. So how much did you spiff that guy to say those nice things about you? I just want to know.
Yeah, I was going to say Sue's going to have to get that check in the mail right away.
Oh my God. No, but I think, listen, it's in the training. You can't hide that effort. You know what I mean? Those images are real deal. Pat Lee owns 3 shops, shuts down and does a road trip with his entire staff to come visit you guys and spend 2 days getting their learn on.
Yeah, I can't tell you what that means to us because we're just normal dudes here working, and to have that, to know that that's worth it, because they drove out here, so that's 11 hours out, 11 hours back
through the mountains.
Shut 3 stores down. So those of you who are store owners can understand the revenue on that, revenue loss on that, because Pat believed it was important for his guys.
Plus paying every single person who's coming along for the ride their normal salary. Yep,
correct.
Absolutely.
So we'll continue to do that, and we're doing the same thing in the U.S. We have trained over 60 dealers since July. In the U.S., we're now finished for the season, but we'll ramp that up again very, very quickly. So I guess if I have to summarize one thing is, yes, we've got a great relationship with the people at Audiotec Fischer. They make wonderful product. We're working closely with them, but out of all this stuff, the product's product. There's a lot of good product out there, but the relationship from the factory level with Julian, Gudrun, and Heinz to our team, because Jason can pick up the phone and talk to Julian, or Chris can pick up the phone and talk to Florian. Everybody knows everybody at the factory, and then to bring that same culture and that same respect for one another down to the dealer level is my goal. And no joking aside, to see a response like that from Justin. I don't have kids. Soon I don't have kids. This is my baby. I always say that to Chris. This is my baby. This is when I hear stuff like that, it's like my kid just graduating from university. So
that's amazing.
Thank you to Certified.
A little bit of pride there.
Yeah. Thank you to all of our dealers that see value in us, because we certainly see value in you, and we're not done.
Oh, lots more in store. I'll let Chris have a quick word because he didn't get a lot to say this time, but you saw what we did. I think Larry did an okay job, Chris, just so you know. He did okay.
He can still hold his own out here.
Yeah, he can. But real quick, 30-second wrap up, any message you may have for dealers or new dealers that are tuning in.
I think Justin said it best. If you're not looking at this line, the sheer amount of solutions for these new cars, a company that is so plugged into what's happening in the world right now and finding tech-based answers to the questions and the battles that we're having in the bays every day. I mean, with our retail experience here, we know exactly what our dealer partners are going through. That's why Justin had mentioned if he's got questions about a car he's never seen, if we haven't been hands-on with it, we know somebody who has, and I really don't know of many other companies that can represent the way that we do. MSC, the Audiotec Fischer brands, Blam, everybody that we've chosen to partner with. We're not deep in lines, but we're deep into every line that we've got, and I don't think there's anybody that can go as deep as we can on that kind of stuff.
All right, very good, guys. I want to thank you. Great session today. I think we tied it all together. You watch this back, you get the Audiotec Fischer story, you get the MSC story, you get the whole overview of the Helix brand, and some great testimonial from a great dealer in Justin and Certified Autosound and Security. Thank you so much, fellas. Have a good one.
Thank you, Ben.
Take care. So there you have it, guys. I left the numbers on the bottom. If you're interested in finding out more information or would like to become a dealer for Helix or Brax or Match or, for anything that MSC offers, really, make sure you check out the website, msc-america.com. You can give them a phone call. They're out in Alberta in the 403. There's their number right there. Big shout out to Justin for stepping in today and really giving some cool insight. I will make sure that Larry takes care of you. All right. I got you, Justin. I got you. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'm wishing everybody a fantastic weekend. We've got another week of great shows coming to you next week before we close out the season. Believe it or not, our final episode 20 of CMA Live going down next Wednesday evening. 20 episodes. It's going to end off on a high note on audiophile brands, and we might see Larry on that one. I'm pretty sure he's booked. No, we know he is. He'll be there again talking to us about some high-end audio stuff. On that note, I wish everybody a fantastic weekend. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
Hey, y'all. Can we change up the chores?
Sorry. It's up to the wheel, man.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, change the channel back.
Sorry, it's up to the wheel.